Hello folks, and welcome to another day with Mr. Flotus in the art classroom. Today we are going to be painting a really cool summer beach scene because summer is almost about to come and get ready for those summer vacations. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Today we will need your canvas. You'll need 2 flat brushes, particularly one larger and one medium to small, a cup of water, a rag to clean your brushes, and we will need these various colors of yellow, orange, and red, blue, green, white, and black. If you don't have orange, we can always mix, yellow and red together. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So we need to start with our base coat. So let's go ahead and start off with yellow. I'm using my larger brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and paint the top half of this painting yellow. This is going to be our sunset, and in the bottom is going to be the ocean. If you feel like this paint isn't, running very nice and smooth, you can dip it into the water just ever so slightly to get a more smooth, again, just top half yellow, and the bottom half is going to be a very light blue, where we're going to mix blue and white together. Go ahead and make sure to get those corners. Let me put a little bit more on the bottom, or just to make this completely one half. There we go. To wash my brush, and let's do our light blue. I'm going to dip it into the water because I want it to be just a little bit watery. And don't worry, this I'm using acrylic, but you can use acrylic or tempera paint. I don't want it too dark, so I'm going to add a little bit of white to this to lighten up that blue. It's okay if it touches the yellow. That's the part where the water meets the sky or the sunset. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is work on our sunset. Let's go ahead and clean our brush to get rid of that blue. And we're going to divide this like a nice fiery sunset. So we're gonna start off with red, orange, and then our yellow's already there, so we don't really need to mess with yellow. So let me clean my brush. Let's go ahead and get that red on top. So a nice burst of red. And we want that red and yellow to mix. I'm gonna dip it into the water ever so slightly because I want it to not be runny, but to be that nice and smooth layer of red. You still want a little bit of that yellow to show up underneath, and it's okay if it does mix. And I would do it just about half. See how it's yellow and red? Okay, I'm going to clean my brush again. I'm going to get orange and put that right in between the middle of the yellow and the red. I'm going to go up a little bit with this just so it can be that much more of a smooth transition. I'm going to clean my brush, and now we're going to do something called a dry brush, where there's hardly any water on our brush, and I'm going to mix that yellow and orange together. And I want a little bit more yellow on the bottom, so I'm not going to clean my brush. I'm going to dip it into the yellow. I'm going to put more yellow right here to make it just that nice bright yellow. There, I really like the way this came out. That nice transition from yellow, orange, and red. Cool, guys. Okay, now let's work on our water. So our water, what's gonna happen is our sun's gonna be right in the middle, and we want our water to have that reflection of the sun and the waves. And so we're gonna work with blue, green, and white to make those waves, to make that nice lagoon looking water. And so what I'm gonna do is dip my paintbrush into the water a little bit, get some blue, and just with the end, I'm not gonna put my paintbrush all the way down. I'm just gonna use the very end of a paintbrush and just go back and forth to make those waves. I'm going to dip it into the blue directly again and just go back and forth and make those waves. If you notice, my paintbrush does not go all the way down. It does not, go zigzag. I am just using the end of my paintbrush like it's dancing on its tippy toes. Nice. Now let's get a little bit of the green. It's okay that it's still blue. And let's dip it into our green. And let's go back and forth again. There. Now let's get some white. I'm still gonna have my brush with that blue and green on it. I'm going to dip it into my white and go back and forth. If you think you need more, get more. And I'll probably do a little bit more of the blue and white so it's not so green. You don't want it to look like grass. Get some more blue. Get some white. All right, folks, now what we're going to do is use the flat part of our brush. I'm no longer using the end of the brush, and I'm going to make a nice smooth back and forth to mix those colors together. I'm starting off with the left-hand side first, and then transition to the right-hand side. You don't want to mix it too much, just enough to where you can still see those blues, greens, and whites. And I kind of like how this came out. There's a dark blue right there. This is a little bit dark blue, but guess what? I like that. It makes it just like a nice dark wave. Maybe there's something underneath the water. All right, now, let's get ready for our sun. So don't clean this brush yet, just put it off to the side. And let's get our smaller brush that's flat. I'm gonna dip it into the water just so I can make sure that it's a nice clean brush. And I'm gonna get it into the white. And we're going to make a circle right in the middle. And you're probably like, how do I draw a circle? Don't stress out, just paint, you know, like the letter O. And just go in a circle with the letter O. Your sun is going to be probably about, about a little bit wider than your thumb. And you're gonna notice that it's kind of see-through when you put the white over it. What I'm doing is it's gonna be a little bit flat on the bottom, so it's like resting right there. It's about to disappear into that sunset, into that horizon, and that's good. You don't want it to be totally white because it's not, like the moon. And there we go. I want it to be a little bit see-through. I'm getting rid of those edges because I don't want it to be, like a super, bright white. There, I like the way that came out. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is put that brush away. Get this big brush now. I still have that leftover blues and greens, and that's fine. I want you to dip it into the white, okay? Dip it into the white, just a little bit, and I think I did a little bit too much on that side, so I'm gonna use this one with the less white. And I'm gonna wave it back and forth, but I'm gonna put it more flat down, and I'm gonna wave it back and forth until that white kind of disappears. And I'm gonna get whiter and whiter. Let's do that again. Whiter and whiter. Now I still have some white on that side, so I'm gonna flip it over and do the same thing again. Okay, now after I did my white, I'm going to use the same brush, get the end of it and get some yellow because we want that reflection of that yellow to come about. So I'm dipping it a little bit into the yellow, and again I'm going to go back and forth, small and then bigger and bigger. That's kind of a cool noise, right? All right, I'm gonna flip it because I still have a little bit of yellow. I'm gonna start off small and then get bigger and bigger. All right, so you notice that there is a very small, I'm gonna get rid of those streaks right there and make it more smooth. So I'm still gonna get this same brush and I'm gonna just go over it just a little bit. Turn my brush over and go over it just a little bit. Wow, see how it smooths out? Now that, see how it's kind of like divided like a V? I want you to go ahead and just go like this, and you're going over it very lightly. Awesome, folks. I like the way that came out. You can always do it again if you don't like it. It's okay to have those brush strokes in there. This is a painting. It's supposed to look like a painting. And see those the little white and the little blue? I like that. It makes it look like a wave, you know, reflection in the distance. All right, folks. What I'm gonna do is get a little bit of white on my brush, dip it into my white. You see how it's just on the end? And I wanna put some more reflections. And I'm just gonna go like this and then wipe it clean. Go like this and then wipe it clean. Yes, that way you'll have those reflections of white. There really is no way to mess up on this because it is, you know, there is no perfect, you know, water picture, you know, how would you describe, you know, how a wave looks when every wave is different. There, I like the way they came out. And see that little part? I'm just gonna smooth it out. I'm barely touching the end, and I'm just gonna smooth it all out. There, we have our nice water. All right, folks. The next thing we're gonna do is put some little mountains in the background. Maybe we're in Hawaii, maybe we're in some tropical island. And I'm going to get my small brush to put this one off to the side. It's okay that it's a little dirty. Now I get my small brush again, clean it, and go ahead and get your black, but just get a little bit of black on there. And we're gonna make just some little rocks, and we're gonna make them more of like in the corner. Yeah, and there is no wrong way to do this. They're in the distance, so they're kind of a little bit blurry. You can make them as high or low as you want. Notice how I'm just kind of making it like a little sketch, as far as, you know, like I'm drawing it real quickly. So I just dipped it right in the blue to make it more of like it's in the distance, and it's those, you know, almost like a purple blue mountain majesty. I'm gonna get rid of that ocean floor. There you go. And I'll probably get just the tiniest bit of white just to make some gray into it. There we go. So now it's sort of a gray and light blue together. Get this brush again, go ahead and clean that one. Now we're gonna add some palm trees coming off to the side. This is my favorite part because it's like you're right under a palm tree, you're looking into the vast ocean. I really like the way this painting is coming out. Go ahead and make sure your brush is nice and flat. Awesome. And we're going to get green. These are gonna be palm trees. Palm trees I like to make because they remind me of feathers. They're very easy to make. So I have my green. I'm gonna make some just long ones coming about, maybe about 4 or 5 the most. And I'm going to just make a long thin streak like that. You can make another streak like that. And again, I'm not pushing my brush down, I'm just using the end of it. I'm gonna get a little bit more green just in case. And I wanna make maybe like a really long one right here. Don't worry if you went over that mountain. And then maybe just another small one right here off to the side. There. So this is gonna be the stem of the palm tree. I'm still using the end of my brush, and I'm going to make some palm tree leaves. So what you can do, there's several ways you can do this. You can make like little stamp marks like this, or you can actually draw the lines and just go back. So they're gonna start off wide at the beginning, but once you go towards the end, they do get smaller. So you're gonna have to just use the end of your brush at an angle. And it's okay that they're, not perfectly straight, and they get wider and wider as they go by. Okay, so that's one half. I'm gonna make sure that my brush stays flat. See how flat it is? And I'm going to go the other side. These are just green, but we're gonna add some more colors to it. We're gonna add a little bit of black and then also a little bit of white, so a reflection. Keep that paint on there. Let's dip it into the white. I'm gonna dip it back and forth into the white. And we're gonna go over those same leaves and just go over them again. So now we have like a light green. Keep this the way it is. You're gonna ever so lightly dip it into the black. You don't want to put too much black because sometimes it gets overwhelming. So I'm gonna put a little bit into the black. Let me show you what I'm doing. Just a little bit into the black to kind of mix it. Okay, that's enough. You don't want to put more than that. And we're gonna make these leaves a little bit dark because it is sunsetting, so it's not, you know, as bright. There we go. Just a little bit of black and gray. There. All right, folks, and guess what? That's the end of our painting. I am so excited to do this with you, and I wish you guys all the best of luck. If you want, you can even do someone surfing, a little boat here and there.